Hello, this is on page 37 of the Ivory Workbook, Unit 7. Back to bread and cheese. Consider the following balanced reaction. 2 slices of bread plus 1 slice of cheese gives 1 sandwich. Well, once again, we have 3 slices of cheese and 4 slices of bread. And earlier, we had determined that the bread was limiting because it could only make 2 sandwiches, and the cheese was in excess. So, how much cheese do we have to start? Well, we have 3 slices. How much cheese is used up? Well, if we're going to make 2 sandwiches, right, because we can make 2 sandwiches here, how many slices of cheese am I going to use up? Well, I'm going to use up 2 slices of cheese. And if you actually wanted to show the work for that, you could say, okay, I have 4 slices of bread times, and remember, there are 2 slices of bread per 1 slice of cheese, so there's 1 slice of cheese per 2 slices of bread, and we get 2 slices of cheese. So that's how much cheese is used up when we use up all the bread. And you'll notice that we have a slice of cheese left over. And this worksheet is all about looking for how much is left over. Okay, how much cheese is used up? Well, 2 slices. How much cheese is left over? 1 slice. How do we figure out how much cheese gets used up? Well, we figure out how much cheese is used with the 4 slices of bread. Okay, and you can do that just like we did here via unit conversion, or you can just look at it, okay? How do you figure out how much cheese is left over? Well, you simply take the amount at the start and subtract the amount used up, and that gives you how much is left over. So the cheese left over is equal to the cheese at the start minus the cheese used up. Okay. And there you go. We can actually see this. Here we have our 2 sandwiches that get made. Our bread limited it, and we had 1 slice of cheese left over. Okay. You can also note that you could use the number of sandwiches that get made, the theoretical yield. You could say, oh, I make 2 sandwiches, therefore how much cheese do I use? Well, if I make 2 sandwiches, I would have to use 2 slices of cheese. Okay, so that's also a perfectly acceptable way of doing it. To find the amount of excess reactant left over, you're going to take the excess reactant at the start and subtract the excess reactant used up. And how do you find that amount that's used up? You calculate it either from the limiting reactant, or you can calculate it from the theoretical yield of the product. Which, if you recall, was the smaller amount. Smaller amount when you're figuring out which one is your limiting reactant, which one produces the least amount of product. That least amount of product is the one that you will use to figure out the amount of excess reactant used. But honestly, I would just go with calculate it from the limiting reactant because that's quite easy to remember. I'll just put this in brackets for anyone who likes to do things differently. To find out how much of the excess reactant is used up, figure out, oh, this is what I just said, how much of the excess reactant is required to react with the limiting reactant, or how much of the excess reactant is required to produce the smaller amount of product. And like I just said, we're not going to focus on this method. All right. Ooh, look, it's the pants and triangles again. Excellent. So let's say we have one pair of pants plus one triangle gives one square. Two triangles and three pairs of pants. It's pretty obvious that, our pair of pants is the excess reactant. How many pairs of pants are required to react with two triangles? Well, that's pretty obvious. It's got to be two, right? How many pairs of pants did we have to start with? So at the start, we had 3 pairs of pants. How many did we use up? We used up 2 pairs of pants. So how many pairs of pants are left over? Well, that's pretty easy. It's 3 minus 2 equals 1.